Hey folks, here we are again, and I am out double checking my area. Just put down a new, let's see here, a new trophy rock and a new block, and then threw some corn out, and so got the feeder full and resupplied my camera. So this spot is good to go. And you can see my tree cam my tree stand right up there. And I did a video before, but pretty much every place around here, going back that way, that way, that way. I did this from the tree stand. That way, this way, this way, and all through here going out into that area, and that goes out to Blackwater, but all of those are trails. And so my tree stand is actually sitting right in the tree, right in the crossroads of those trails. And I did a little bit different way in the other day, and I found my first rub, which was exciting. So definitely no complaints there. But I'm gonna walk on up. I'm sweating like a dog because it's still hot down here. I saw some people that I follow up north already had a jacket on. I thought, well, aren't they a blessing? But that is what we have down here in Florida, so I'm making the best of it. And so my little bent tree to help me get back out of here. You can, if you don't use landmarks, I use that and that huge tree right there, but if you don't use landmarks, you can definitely get turned around. Brought Miss Christie out here the other day. For the first time, she actually went out and took a look at the spots I have. And man, I tell you what, she was like, oh boy, you could really get lost in here. And you absolutely can. But let's see here. I'm looking at the trails. So you got trails coming through right here. That's. I try not to go exactly on their trails, but they have so many that I don't really have a choice. And with my feeding setup I have going on, I don't. I have to come out here way too often. I mean, way too often, in my opinion. I'd like to leave it for a month and come back, but I can't do that. So I set up this way, I call it the trail crossing, and you can see my other camera over there. That definitely is going to be a place for a blind, ground blind, and then I will have ground blinds up here as well. But this is the other clearing and trails, tons of trails through here. And I put up a new, that trophy rock, I'm getting a lot of action on it. And then I think I actually like those feeding blocks. Those are, let me see, those feeding blocks right there, those are Field and Stream feeding blocks. I think I might actually like those better than the feeders, other than the fact that you can get more spread, I guess. But they seem to last a little longer, and they do definitely have good backup for. So if I put one of those out, I can definitely go a week without coming back. Oh, yeah, you're gonna love those spiders, man. Oh, goodness gracious. But I'll just go this way. I like leaving those spiders up there because they do a good job of keeping the mosquito population down. So normally you'd have to have tons of bug spray and then put any on. So it's kind of nice. And there's water around here. There's creeks and a small lake, within a mile. And yeah, you normally would think you'd have tons of mosquitoes out here, but those spiders really help keep it down. So even though I hate spiders with passion, as much as I hate snakes, they still are my buddy. So anyway, see you on the tread trail. All right, heading out of the woods. On the way in, I got some good news. I spotted just a ton of turkey. I've never seen that many turkey in one spot in person. I've seen, 2 or 3 here and there, but I mean, there was a bunch. So, man, that was exciting. So I used the onX app, so I stopped and double checked, and they were on a little I don't know what you would call it, a draw that led back to a clearing, but it was all on public land, which is awesome because I haven't seen any sign of it on any private land that I've been able to hunt, and even on government land, I've only seen one, and their restrictions. I have a permit to hunt there, but their restrictions are on the amount of time you can hunt and that kind of stuff. So seeing that on public land, where actually I'm on the way into my hunting area, is pretty exciting. But so this season's been a big learning curve for me. There's of course, it'll stop in a second. Good thing about old Toyotas. And the neighbor's dog is going to do his job and bark me out of here. Hi, buddy. Anyway, he didn't bark. Look at that. Made a fool. Anyway, I'm glad though. Maybe they're getting used to me coming in and out, in and out, in and out. Yeah, I grew up in North Dakota, so everybody up there hunted, but it was a lot different up there, especially 30 years ago, 35 years ago. Oh, take a look at that. There's a deer up there on the road. Man, let me see if I can turn that around real quick. Oh no, he's moving. So I noticed oh, that's her baby she has with her. Oh my goodness. So I noticed she was actually on the road on the way in as well. But I had one on camera multiple times that I knew was getting ready to, birth, and I haven't seen her, so that's got to be her. I mean, there's deer all over up here, but it's the only one I've seen that was pregnant, and that's about the same size, and she was very, very pregnant a week ago. So that little guy, one was just barely walking. So but anyway, that was pretty neat. I wish I could have flipped my camera around so you could have seen it, but that's cool. Very, very neat. Anyway, so up North Dakota, you just go
stop by the farmer's land, and I mean, there's one house in 100 acres, and if not more than that, and you knock on the door, and hey, do you mind if we hunt your property? And oh yeah, no problem at all. And they didn't like the deer because they always ate up their crops, so um, that was perfect for them. And so you always go out with three people. Uh, one goes through the middle of the thicket, and there's one on either side because the deer aren't going to move. And there's no there's no trees in North Dakota, zero trees. Everybody, they say that the state telephone pole is I mean, the state tree is a telephone pole up there, and the state bird is a mosquito. So and that's pretty close to the truth. But the only trees are rows that the farmers have planted themselves to keep the, as a windbreak, because otherwise the wind is absolutely harsh up there because there's nothing to stop it. So they can plant, and their seed will be gone within a couple of weeks. So they plant those tree rows, so that's how you hunt, or that's how you hunted back then anyway. So but I really didn't. There wasn't a whole lot of training, I guess you could say. Uh, from my dad's side, I got to go several times, and more often than not, I was just used as a pusher. Send the guy through the middle, and that will make the deer jump, and then the other two on the outside will get the shot. So I did get a couple of deer with a 30-30. When I was about 15, 16. So, and that was just before I left home. I left home when I was 16, and went to college when I was 17. So there wasn't a whole lot of training that way, or woodsmanship skills. Camping, yeah, we I learned a lot camping because we went camping every year. Um, but so this is I use a lot of tech because I don't really have any friends that trad hunt. Um, I do. They're older. They're OGs. They have their hunting spots. Their clubs in, yeah, I'm guessing Mississippi and Alabama, but um, so I don't expect to be invited there. Uh, they got they've been hunting together for 20, 30 years, so it's some of those in that group been friends since grade school. So I'm just the new guy on the block, but um, so I'm having to learn a lot of this on my own. And so using technology such as OnX, so I can learn terrain. And I was in the military, so I understand the way it looks. I mean, they have 3D terrain now, which is awesome. But I use Hex uh, gear. I use night lights to night hunt with. In fact, I may do a night hunt tonight. It's really with putting that corn out there. Those rascally raccoons, man. I had 10 of them on camera at one time the other night, just tearing up that corn and trying to get into that feeder. So uh, anyway, I use Hex suit, the whole suit. I also made my own ghillie suit. I've learned trad bow, shooting a longbow and recurve this year. Definitely like longbow better for myself, and that's what I'm using, my old battle bow, and I got that set up. I'm actually going to go back up to 200 grain broadheads. I can get 125 to go straight. Uh, they'll tune, I guess, but man, they're a lot more finicky on arrow flight. I mean, if you don't release exactly perfect, and I'm using a tab 3 under, and the tabs I have are phenomenal. I use uh, the Craven Company tab, and the what uh, Ginger Ninja. Um, So I have both of those tabs. I love both of them. The only drawback for me with the Ginger Ninja, I don't know if it's because I cut mine shorter, or because it's super thin in canvas, and I like the thin because you can feel the string, but it gives a little bit of a pop to it when it lets go of the string. And for hunting, I want super quiet, and the Craven tab does a little bit better job with that. It's just whisper silent, and they're just using Cordovan leather, the Italian super smooth leather as the face, and so I like that for the hunting side of it. But both of them release super smooth, super good tabs, and Triple T Strings just started carrying the Craven tab, which is awesome. And anyway, so that's a little bit. So I guess my point with that was I use a lot more tech, because I'm still learning woodsman skills. I'm not phenomenal in the woods. I guarantee you, when I come in the woods, deer know it for a mile around. I mean, I try to be quiet and all of those kinds of things, but it's a little bit of a learning curve. I'm learning how to enter quiet and use scent and windage and all of those things. But anyway, so I use a lot of what most, well, I wouldn't say most, but the real traditional guys, they're just trying to do a rock and a homemade wood and homemade self bow. I'm not there yet, and I got into it to learn that, and that I do definitely plan on learning that, because that's primitive. And speaking of that, I love Hunt Primitive. I follow him, and that's just wow. That's awesome. But I also want to fill the fridge and freezer and feed my family with meat, and so I know my skills aren't there yet, but I'll get them there. I have many good years in trad left, so just out learning how to scout. Shoot, 6 months ago I wouldn't have known any of what I know now, and 6 months before that I didn't know the difference between a longbow and a recurve, and now I can dial in my longbow where I'm hitting a 50-cent piece most of the time if I follow my shot process, and I have my arrows tuned correctly. That was very frustrating trying. So I tried going down to the 125 grain because I wanted longer trajectory, longer, flatter trajectory, and faster. Right, I want a faster, longer trajectory, so I can feel very comfortable taking a 25 or 30 yard shot. Which I watched a video that Fred Bear was doing the other day, and he said, or they said on the video, it always has a narrator pretty much, but they walked out to 30 yards because that's the traditional or normal shot for a traditional bow hunter. And I thought, how interesting that it's gotten with all the advancements we have, a lot thanks to him, but with all the advancements we have and the way the bows are shooting nowadays, we're down to 15 yards because it's kind of like improving a car, right? You learn things with the car, and you make it faster and faster and smoother, and then they put the speed limit at 55. So that was interesting to me, that was the norm back in 1950, 1960. That was the norm shot, was a 30-yard shot, and now 15 and 20 max, and if you go over 20 then you get a lot of poo-poos. And so I don't know, traditional bow hunting is supposed to be about keeping the tradition alive. So I would say that Fred Beard set a lot of the tradition that we follow nowadays. So anyway, just thinking out loud as a new guy. But all right, y'all, that's my trad trail for today. Might end up doing a night hunt tonight, and if I do, I'll try and get that on camera. See you on the trad trail.
Here's to the thrill of the hunt, the peace we find in the woods, and finding true aim in our Creator King, Jesus. I'll see you on the trad trail.